I love it when I get asked super hard and challenging questions. It kind of grows me cerebrally and makes me more intelligent. I got asked this great question. The question was, should sales teams be managed by a sales manager, or should sales teams be managed by a operational branch manager? Now, I sat and I thought about this because I was always managed by a sales manager. But I also worked for United Rentals and I was managed by a branch manager. So here's the biggest factor, and it's number one. Is the person that's your manager, do they understand A, the sales process, B, the challenges, are they supportive, and do they invest the time in sales? And so I will tell you, I watch branch managers, and the branch manager was somebody who was a great mechanic. They went from becoming a mechanic to a shop foreman. They went from becoming a shop foreman to becoming the service manager. And they went from being the service manager to the branch manager. And now they need to manage sales reps. And they have never even ridden with a sales rep or done any of that. They manage the branch and they have an operational mindset. I get it. The problem is that when the sales reps say, hey, how should I handle this? They don't treat it like a salesperson. They treat it very black and white, kind of operational. Example, customer calls up and says, hey, I just got an invoice for $800 for damaged rails. And the sales rep says, okay, well, and the guy says, look, I don't want to pay for it. We didn't do the damages. You hand it over to the branch manager and they said, we have photos, they damaged it, they're going to pay. We're not having them just take this and we're not eating it. So the sales rep turns back around and says, you got to pay it. And the customer says, perfect, here's the check, it's paid, don't ever come in again. And the branch manager says, I don't care, they got to pay for the damages and I don't mind losing crappy customers that don't pay for damages. You know what the problem is? We didn't evaluate the relationship. We didn't evaluate the customer. We didn't evaluate the fact that they've been doing business with us for 4 years. And in 4 years, guess how many times they damaged equipment? 0. The other thing that we didn't evaluate was the piece of equipment sat out there for 7 days and we didn't pick it up. Now, we just lost a great, loyal, well-paying customer because we didn't know how to negotiate. Because guess what? There's no negotiatings in a service manager's job. So here's the end of the story. I will tell you right now, is it better to be managed by a service manager, a branch manager, or a sales manager? And here's the answer. None of them and all of them. Each one of them brings value. I was all sales and I had a branch manager who was really, really tough. And guess what? I realized I had to learn that there's give and takes. Sometimes as a sales rep, I was a little weak. I would go in and I'd be like, oh man, it's all about the relationships. I don't want to lose them as an account. They're a terrible account. Evaluate it as a whole. And all of a sudden I'd be like, oh, I needed that operational branch manager mindset to put me in my place. But the biggest thing is a great manager has amazing communication, has an understanding of all sides of the business. And last but not least, they spend time with their sales reps, with their operational people, with their service techs, with their drivers, and they build sympathy and empathy with riding around with them and seeing what the daily challenges are. My personal opinion, sales should be managed by sales and a sales manager should negotiate. But if your organization doesn't have that, it's not a bad thing as long as your branch manager understands the sales process and understands that there is negotiations and wins and losses in sales. It's not as black and white as ops often is. We're not just managing a P&L statement, we're managing relationships with customers. Have an amazing day and know that I appreciate you watching. Great questions. Throw some in, ping me over some messages. I would love to discuss some of the challenges that sales faces and that branch faces every day. Have a good day.